Scorpio Ophiuchus, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for June 13th through the 19th, 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link because the signs are different. All right, so this week we're going to try something different. We're going to look at 4 key areas, the most often asked about areas. It's going to be yourself, your relationships, your work, and your finances. And then at the end, we're going to tie it all together with an overview. So let's go ahead and get started with yourself this week, which is seen by your ruler Mars. Mars is retrograde in your 12th house. So the 12th house is the house of rest. It's the house of meditation. It's the house of getting back in touch with our soul. And it's usually done through that alone time. So whatever this has been, and this has been ongoing for, recently Mars has shifted into here this, I think the turn of this month. But whatever it's been, it's about reflecting a bit, getting that alone time, meditating, and all this is recharging your batteries, because you guys are going to have your ruler go back into Scorpio next month, and your ruler is going to go direct at the end of this month. So, up and through this point, particularly this month, reflecting on things and getting that alone time, meditative time, whatever it is that's helping you really connect to your soul. And in that way, you're accessing, which could be, this very deep information about yourself, about what really matters in life. And even cultivating your spirituality, which does make it such a good time for spiritual activities such as yoga or meditation or whatever it might be at the moment. All right, so there's a lot of things here. Really asking yourself, too, what motivates you about spirituality, and maybe how you can take a bit more of a receptive approach to getting things done from time to time, which is Mars as well. All right, so that's yourself in a general look. Now, in terms of your relationships, this is where you've had the last new moon in your 7th house, actually. So this whole lunar cycle is about relationships. And I think it's still great to challenge yourself here. Maybe there's something that you can challenge yourself with this area. And I think this week you're going to slowly start to feel a shift of the deeper side of matters, maybe intimacy and openness in those relationships. And that's going to be seen by Venus shifting into your 8th house here on Friday. So she's the ruler of that 7th house of yours, of those relationships. So there's definitely this shift. Up and through Friday, still great for learning about cooperation, exchanging with others, that to and fro kind of energy. You can enjoy those relationships, I think. Continue to cultivate these new beginnings with them. You're learning a lot about them with Mercury in that 7th house. Maybe there's a lot of communication going on in that area. But the shift on Friday, I think, will be more about intimacy, deeper connections, and asking yourself how, what really matters most in your relationships in life. So that's relationships. Let me see if there's anything else standing out to me. Okay. Yeah, one thing I want to mention, too, is that on Monday, Venus will be squaring up to Chiron. So if you are feeling any wounds or insecurities about that stuff, this is more internalized. So just kind of doing that healing work, which really comes from acceptance. And it's through that acceptance that we heal. And again, it's more of an internal thing. Now, for you Ophiuchuses, this is your ruler Chiron squaring up to Venus. So when it comes to relationships, extra awareness, extra balance, extra tact, I think could be specifically important on Monday there. So that's the relationship sphere. Now, in terms of your work, we've got Mars retrograde. He's the ruler of your 6th house. Again, reflection here. And through that rest and relaxation, or maybe taking, working behind the scenes, it could be helping you understand more about, again, how you can have more of this peace in your everyday work experiences. And if it's not your work, it's your daily activities. Now, in terms of your career, though, which is bigger picture, you do have North Node and Jupiter in your 10th house. So it's still an excellent year for you guys to see those opportunities that are there to a degree with your career, big picture productive stuff, or your public life in some sense, and walk through those doors. Take those opportunities and turn them into something. Because sometimes with Jupiter, we can just, we kind of expect it to always be there, but it's just such a good time for you to cultivate it. You don't want to pass up any of these opportunities, and you want to put in the work. It's through that work you can really shape and cultivate this productive life. Now, in terms of the finances, that's been changing for many years. Pluto's been in your 2nd house, helping you live perhaps a bit more of a minimalistic type of lifestyle, or have more, non-attachment to the material realm, which is creating positive changes there. You are going to have a full moon Monday morning of next week in that 2nd house. So as the week unfolds, and especially around the weekend, I think it's great to ask yourself, how the financial stuff is going. It could be a high point with that, in fact, for a lot of you. And ask yourself how it's going, because there's going to be the shift going into next week about maybe leaving something behind, letting something go when it comes to your values, so you can continue to cultivate these new beginnings from the last 6 months regarding the material stuff. So good awareness, good energy perhaps even too, through that awareness of the financial area. All right, so now in terms of an overview, and one thing I want to mention too, actually, in terms of those finances, Jupiter rules your second, conjoined the North Node. You guys have been learning a lot about your values this year. And it's still, I think, great to learn about finance, learn about cultivating these values of yours. All right, so now in terms of the overview, let's go and have a look, see what we've not covered based on those 4 key areas. Now, Neptune is going retrograde on Monday, so there is this reflection taking place with your home and family life, and even your self-expression for the next 6 months. And this week in particular, Saturn squares up to Neptune for the second time since November. All right, so this is this energy of uncertainty and doubt, maybe about yourself, maybe about the responsibilities you've been assuming, maybe the hard work, maybe things around work, or whatever it is you've been recently over this past year taking more seriously. So you want to have healthy responsibility here, but it's a time of really being present, understanding that's a much larger picture unfolding with your goals, with your aspirations, maybe with these responsibilities, and work on yourself spiritually here. This is a good time for all of us to challenge ourselves spiritually, which is through spiritual activities. And again, especially with all this 12th house energy, it's so important. This is the peace. This is the tranquility. It can certainly come in this week through that, I think, challenging ourselves to cultivate our spiritual self. And this could be with you. Could be with your identity, with your goals. This could be the subject areas of this. Maybe even your home, family, or health for some of you with that Neptune. But, yep, being open to challenge there can help that energy come through of tranquility, peace, and acceptance. Now on Tuesday, the sun does sextile up to Uranus, so there is some newness, some excitement maybe with your career stuff, which is good. On Tuesday, there is some healing about that on Wednesday when the sun squares up to Chiron. So Tuesday, mix it up, career stuff, try something new, public stuff, whatever it might be. Then on Wednesday, do that inner healing that you might be familiar with from Monday, but here particularly with your career, I think. And that will help, again, that healing, because it's more internalized. It's not so much an external thing. It's more of just doing that internal work of acceptance, which then leads to that rejuvenation in that area for the rest of the week onward. And then there's that Saturn squaring Neptune, and then that full moon I talked about. All right, so Scorpio Ophiuchus, have a fantastic week. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next week.